Welcome back to How Good Was It? And to the second half of our Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer episode. As you may have heard in our first half, we have officially kicked off our Christmas holiday movie extravaganza. I haven't come up with a name for it. Any of you guys have a name for what we're doing this December with all the Christmas movies?
No, we probably should have thought of that ahead of time. I don't know. Well, by the end of the episode, I say we come up with something.
Okay. I have faith. Hello, Scott. What is up, man?
Hey, welcome back, Ian.
And hello, Dana. Welcome back.
Hola, papacito. Good day.
I love it because now Dana knows that he's required to answer me in Spanish. I love it.
One job. I got one job.
Listen, and you do it well, bro. Welcome back, guys, and welcome back, listeners. It was interesting. I just made the realization. I was watching Rudolph today. I got to watch it today earlier with my wife, and she was like, "Really? This is what you guys are doing?" and it was funny to me in that I realized we hadn't done anything animation wise. I don't think we've ever covered an animated movie in our year or so of podcasting. And so it was interesting to finally get to the point where we're doing an animated feature. And of course, it ties right in with our Christmas thing going on this month. But nonetheless, this is the first time we've actually covered an animated movie.
And I'm not even sure this is a movie. I think this is a television special. This may be, was not the first time we've definitely covered something that wasn't released in theaters. So, but yeah, we may have broke our format because this is not quite what we do.
Does that mean this episode is not going to count? Or we're going to
this is going to be the lost episode.
So I mean, it's true because so I don't know how you guys managed to watch this film. Of course, I looked it up on YouTube. I hope you guys didn't pay for this.
I paid $7.99 for it.
God bless you.
But
Scott.
I own it forever now. So I can watch this over and over again.
Fantastic.
So of course I found it on YouTube for free. And I pay for YouTube, so technically it's not free. But I did find it on YouTube, and it was a very old grainy version. It was like it came straight out of the 50s or 60s or whenever this film debuted.
1964.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is, yes, you're right. This wasn't a film or a movie that was released in theaters. And the biggest indication of that while I was watching it was that you could see obviously where the segment would end and they would go into a commercial, except there were no commercials. So, I've watched this enough times in my life that I do expect the commercials. So when it would jump to another scene, I'd be like, wait a minute, where's like all the Christmas toy commercials and all that. But no, they treated it like a movie. It was really weird watching it. But where did you guys watch this film?
Dana, how about you?
I totally did YouTube. I was determined not to spend $7.99 on our free movie that we see every year for free. Yeah.
It was a little weird seeing them ask for money to see this. I'm like, I've watched this hundreds of times in my life, and I've never once paid for it, as far as I remember. But
not only did I pay for it on Apple and own it, I also got the book of it too. I was added to my collection. So I can. This is my notes for today.
As always, Scott goes above and frickin' beyond, man. Yeah. He's gonna take that extra step. And for you viewers who cannot see this, yes, he did hold up he held it up proudly, his Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer book. Where did you get that, man?
At Target. It was $5.99, so it was cheaper than the movie. The only way I could convince Mary to let me buy it was I told her I'd give it to her niece, who's 4, who is the appropriate age for it. So yeah, I'm going to give it to her after I use it as a prop for this podcast. Lovely.
Hey, listen, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Let's jump in. Let's jump into Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, man. We kind of covered in the first half of this episode. We think that it was a company or a film studio or whatever you want to call it, Rankin Bass, right?
Yes, it was not a person. You're right. It is a studio.
Okay, so that was my next question because I didn't follow up on that research.
I did.
And I hope you did.
I did research. I didn't. Yeah. So Rankin Bass was the stop motion studio. They were one of the first studios to farm out all the work to Japan. And not this movie, but not too long after, they started sending it all over to Japan. They were eventually, as this kind of faded away, bought by Disney in 1988. Everybody who worked on this film, including Rakin and Bass, have all passed away. So there was nobody left alive who had pretty much anything to do with this film. So yeah.
Oh wow! You said this debuted when? 64?
64. Yeah, 64. I think this is cursed like Poltergeist. I think they were all murdered or died horrible deaths. It's something like that.
So the
Rudolph curse.
The Rudolph curse. Yeah.
So the only name that I remembered, and as when watching this movie, and in the credits, as the credits rolled, I'm looking and I'm like, I don't recognize any of these names. But the only name that I did recognize was, of course, Burl Ives.
Yes,
right?
And that's he's top billing, and the Snowman. He also sang the songs. Okay. But he was brought on at the last second. He wasn't even supposed to do that role. Really? And they literally the guy who did the voice for one of the other characters, I think maybe for Santa, was going to be the voice. He had already recorded all those songs and also all the Snowman talk. And someone's like, "No, let's use Burl Ives instead." So he came in and recorded all his parts after that.
It's a good thing for them that he did. I mean, he does have a very recognizable voice.
Yeah.
I grew up with that voice. I never really thought about who it was as a kid, but it's so distinctive. And you can't imagine the character of was that actually Frosty the Snowman, or he's just a snowman?
No, it's a different name.
Sam the Snowman. That's what threw me off. I was just like, who the fuck is Sam the Snowman? Just call him narrator, call him whatever, but Sam the Snowman. Yeah, that threw me off.
Frosty's lazy ass cousin. Because he didn't do much beyond this movie from what I remember.